Welcome back to Tom's Real Food Podcast. Today's sponsor is going to be cauliflower mashed, broccoli, Salisbury steak with mushrooms and gravy. Also, I want to pay tribute to the folks from last week's, my first podcast. Please check these people out. Like, subscribe to their channel. Hello and welcome to Tom's Real Food Podcast. I am Tom Garvey, the Keto Cook. I'm excited because last week's podcast went well. I had a lot of good feedback on it. I didn't expect many people to be watching because first time out. I don't even think it's showing up on YouTube Music where it goes, but it shows up on my site anyway. But I had a lot of great responses. Now, last week we talked about a lot of different things, how I got started, my pitfalls and stuff. I'm going to show you a little video in a little while about, and I'm surprised I forgot about it. Let's put it that way. So I got like 870 some videos, but I went back and did a little research the next day, and I found the video that I did. It's not Cecil B. DeMille Productions. Let's put it that way. It was kind of corny, but it got the point across. Has explosions in it and stuff. I mean, it's just crazy. But you live and learn. But the whole thing, it hit home because everything I said last week, it was showing in this video. And like I said, totally forgot about it. But the problem is how you get off track. Very simple, very easy to do. Cravings. I said, remember that word, cravings, because we're going to address it. And today we're going to hit on that a little bit. But first, like I had promised you last week that we're going to go over my blood work that I had done. Now, this blood work took place, let's see, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago that I had the blood work done. Now, I was stone cold into carnivore. I was just eating meat to try to lower my blood sugar numbers because it was out of hand. It was just getting crazy. So, a lot of times, there's a big question with keto and also with carnivore that when you're doing this, that people are having trouble with their blood sugars. Well, I don't think they had the numbers right the first time. You can't tell me that, I'm 6 foot, 240, that my numbers are going to be the same as Marie's or the next guy. Marie's 411. I mean, to me, it just doesn't make sense. Same thing with blood pressure. There again, I'm not a doctor, okay, but they're guidelines that they have, and they stick to it pretty much. So you know what? I just yeah, but I know how I feel, and I know what I am doing to get myself back to feeling good again and back to life. Who wants to lay around on a couch and I can't get up, I need a cane? Now, I don't know. Maybe one day that'll happen, but not right this minute. It's not going to happen. So the big takeaway from this was the LDL cholesterol. That's the bad cholesterol that they're worried about. Okay, so the reference range is 100. Okay, mine was 127. Now, like I said, I've been eating the meat and stuff like that. Prior to me doing this, the last time I had blood work done was a couple years ago, and my A1C jumped from 5.6 from the beginning, and then it's got to be 2 years since I almost 2 years, not quite 2 years, but anyway, it jumped up because of what I was shoving in my pie hole here. Like I said, after we get done playing for the evening in the casino, we go have something to eat, and then them carbs, laying on that carbs overnight, and then the next day, just was. I could feel myself dropping back into the pit. That's what I call it. So she said, well, maybe we might have to put you on a statin. I've been there, done that. Not going to happen. The side effects and some statins may cause a rise in your blood sugar. So every action is a reaction. All right. So when you open up your mouth and you start chewing on something, your system has no clue what you're putting in there. You could be putting in strawberries or just sugar cubes. Has no clue. But it takes off right then and there. So as my conversation with the doctor went further on was, Well, I'm concerned because cholesterol can lead to heart disease. I said, well, I beg to differ with you, but I said, you're the one with the diploma, not me. I said, but I thought now the new studies are saying that insulin could be the culprit. Uh, and why aren't we testing my insulin? Just quiet. You didn't say nothing. Well, I could do that, but she said there's no way of knowing what the number is. I said I think the number is anything above or below 10 is not good. That's what I understand. But I never had an insulin test done. So all the other stuff that was the markers, my triglycerides are high. Okay, I'm not going to lie about that. They were 404, but they're supposed to be like 150 or below. But I've been dealing with this triglyceride dude for a long time. When I was in Florida, and I told you that I had this stent done. Okay, the reason why they were concerned, and I should have said this last week, but they were concerned because my triglycerides were very, 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 very high. Okay, let's put it in perspective. The doctor said to me, your numbers are the topic of our cocktail parties that we have with the other cardiologists. It was 1,630, okay, which is ridiculous. So we're going to put you on this pill. And he's back on floor. We're going to put you on this pill, the statin, the whole bit like that, and a couple other different pills that they say may help you with triglycerides. Didn't happen. Didn't work. When I moved out here, my doctor said, no, you need to get off these other pills because triglycerides, it's from fat. So I said, well, I don't know. I sort of beg to differ with you. I think it's more from fat in your blood, but it's not caused by cholesterol or fat, fat that you eat. Now, this is me again now. I said, I think they're talking now, it could be more sugar and carbs that are turning into fat. Because my insulin resistance is so bad that it has no other place to do, so they turn it into fat. That was like throwing a pie against the wall and watch it drip from the response I got. So I explained to the doctor about the triglycerides. So from 1,630 down to, I think I had it, the lowest I had it was 270, right? So falling backwards again, my triglycerides jump back up again. Now I am convinced that it can be caused by high carbs. Okay, I don't think fat has the. I asked the doctor. I said, "Can you prove to me that cholesterol? Who died from high cholesterol?" I said, "I researched this, and nobody dies from. They die from probably symptoms of it. Okay, with plaque, but most of the studies that are done, they just can't pinpoint it. So, not getting too deep in the weeds here. I said to her, I said, just let me do my thing, and we'll see. In another 3 months, we'll go back, and we'll take it from there. So, but everything else, here's the kicker: everything else was in the green. Okay, other than them three things that she talked about: the cholesterol, the HDL, and the HDL it was funny because the guideline is 40. Mine was 39. It's too low. It's 1 point. I mean, really. So she sort of shrugged that off. But then with the LDL and stuff like that. So there again, I'm not a scientist, but I know how I feel. We're all going to die of something, but I'm going to make sure that I'm going out kicking, and the whole thing from there. So getting back to cravings, I just seen a thing on YouTube just before I went on. Not actually YouTube, it was actually on the internet, and it was about sugars. Okay, the difference between natural and added sugars. So, did you know that there's 74 different names for sugar? 74, and possibly more. So, Google it, and you'll see the articles that come up on it that are in. So, if it's not mentioned to be sugar or added sugar, they put these different names in it. High fructose corn syrup. Also, there's a couple others. I printed it out, but the fine print is so fine, really hard for me to see. But there's 5 or 6 right off the bat that you're not supposed to have, and it's This can also be found in breads, processed breads, which is how you make bread, process it, including products you might not associate with sweeteners like soups, breads, um, cured meats, and ketchup, and also yogurt. Okay. Um, Yogurt that has fruit in it could be devastating for you. People think it's healthy. All right. It's not the same properties as a good Greek yogurt. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff you got to be aware of. And it really made me stand up and look at this because I was a little ignorant to the fact also that um, 64 the names on some of the stuff on the keto products that are in the store that are mentioned. Okay. And the ingredients, these same things in there. If I get time, I will post that. But everybody's got a phone. Google it, okay, and see exactly what you're doing. All right, let's take a break. If you would at this time, please hit that like and subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. Also, this week, don't forget to tune in Wednesday, July 24th, and watch my Tom Garvey the Keto Cook. I got a great deal on some beef, a whole roll chuck. Check it out. Also, the second half of this broadcast is brought to you by Chicken Puttanesca with some spaghetti squash as an alternative to pasta. All right, let's get back to part 2. All right, here we are with segment 2. So getting back to what I had asked you to remember was cravings. Now, from what I understand, there again, you can Google it. Cravings sometimes can mean that your body's craving something, okay, missing something, water, or something like that. But in this case, sweetness, the sweet end of how we eat or how we used to eat with the standard American diet, which stands for SAD in my eyes. A lot of people feel the same way. But craving is so now. When I started keto, I was gung ho with it. Well, I was really feeling good. I'm going to play that video at the end of this. I don't want to bore nobody with it, but I do urge you to watch it because this was my early perception of how this was all going. All right. And I think that was like 3 years ago. This video was done. Like I said, poorly done, but it gets the point across. The craving part of it was the things that I craved the most was macaroni. So to fulfill that craving, I didn't jump ship, but to fulfill that craving, I started using alternatives to it. All right. Now, Marie's Italian. She just looked at me the first couple of times and just shook her head. But I used Egg Life wraps. I used them. That got some of my biggest views on it. It's still going. It's still going really well. And everybody looks to go onto YouTube to make money on it. I contacted Egg Life Wraps, and they said no, they don't follow anybody on YouTube, and they wouldn't do anything. Just about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 videos I did was about Egg Life Wraps. So me and quite a few other people that I became friends with, we did the same thing. But they did send me a coupon for $1 off these egg Life wraps, and they're made from egg whites. And xanthan gum. There is processed, and the problem that people don't realize is all these extra ingredients that are added into shakes, whatever, or protein powders, or everything else like that. It's highly processed. So Egg Life wraps are made with egg whites, and then it goes down a list of 4, 5, 6 different ingredients that are in it. All right. So right off the bat, you're fighting yourself because you don't know. I don't know if they put any sugar in it or whatever. There again, I'm not a scientist. But in the same token, then I found another one to make a pasta out of egg, cream cheese, and pork rinds. Okay. And a little bit of Parmesan cheese. They weren't bad. Okay. As a substitute. But the whole question is the craving. Why am I craving that? Okay. So from going from 100 miles an hour to 0, right? I'm not recommending do that. Don't jump in both feet. Get yourself there again. If you're type 2 diabetic, you got to do something. You got to bite the bullet and get away from most of them until you get yourself just about used to it. Now, I'm posting this back up here again. If you can, check these out. This is some of the stuff that you got to stay away from. These are the other names other than sugar, 74 of them, you need to watch. Used to it. So when I say getting used to it, I'm talking about you got to learn to get yourself full first when you eat. So in the beginning, I would do steaks, which was the quick way to get going with it. Eggs, and what I did was I really took the bull by the horn as far as wasn't eating 3 meals a day. I haven't eaten 3 meals a day in a long time, especially when I was working. Grazed all day, pick. So that there in itself was a problem. So the craving for sugars and stuff like that is almost like you start feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, why can't I have this? Oh, I miss this so much. So in this whole process, the thing came out called Chaffles. That's been out for a couple years, 2 or 3 years prior to me starting this. And chaffle is they have a little waffle iron, okay? And chaffle is egg and cheese. And you can now people are putting everything in it, okay, to change it up. So I mean, it was great for a hamburger or making sandwiches. I used to make tri-tip, like a roast beef sandwich on a chaffle, a little lettuce on there. So getting away from trying to make all alternatives to what we used to eat all the time, that's another bad thing. Okay, trying to substitute something, it's like trading in your car and getting roller skates. Okay, you're not going to get nowhere with it. Is the bottom line. So my point is trying to fulfill yourself and get away from the cravings. Is you got to learn to get yourself full. Eat enough 1 time a day, 2 times a day, or if you want to, it's 3 times a day, as long as you keep it under a certain amount of carbohydrates on the intake. But I became to the point where once I was eating steak, okay, or beef, or even pork, and I was smoking meats and stuff like that, the whole idea was to get yourself full. Then you didn't think about it. When you're full, the last thing on your mind is putting something else into your mouth, and that's the problem with today. There is nobody knows the limit of full. Oh, I can't eat no more. John Panette, the great comedian who passed away, but he said in the Chinese buffet, "Oh, I can't eat no more. Oh, look, what's that? Egg rolls?" And that's the problem. So, got to fight cravings. Now, I got to tell you a quick story. When I was first diagnosed with bladder cancer, they had told me that smoking can be a contributor. Now, people think that just lung disease, but this actually was part of the problem with bladder cancer. Now, I quit smoking prior to that because I knew a couple months ahead of time before I was diagnosed with it that I had something was going on, because every once in a while a little bit of blood would come out when I urinate and stuff. But I gave up the cigarettes. I tried to quit many, many, many times. Now you're looking at a guy who smoked about 5 packs of cigarettes a day. All right. Stress. I mean, just one after the other, after the other, after the other. And that's just before I quit. And then to come to find out, I guess it was maybe a month or so ago, going to the store. And as we're going to the store, I turn around and went like that, looking for the cigarettes. That's 16 years later. So the cravings have a lot to do with it. You just got to battle them off. There's no getting away from it. So that's where the mind over matter, basically what we're talking about here, is you got to be strong with that. And if you give into it, well, you can bounce back. Don't bounce back like I did. I went full jackknife dive right into the water, back to eating all the wrong stuff again. So with that said, the best thing to do is, like I said, try to get it off your mind, but learn how to get satiated. You got to get full. And with that said, let's look at this. All right, in that picture, you see spaghetti squash, chicken, olives, there's some red pepper. That was made with a red pepper sauce for that chicken. Now, you got to be careful with some things like that. I did a video not too long ago about I was making on carnivore and I was starting to introduce stuff back in again. I made baby back ribs and I made a homemade barbecue sauce, no sugar, but I put in some other ingredients. You have to go watch it. And I put some other ingredients in, but I tell you what, the tomato paste blew me out of the water with my blood sugars. Almost crazy. So in that video right there, or in that picture right there, I should say, spaghetti squash. There again, macaroni was my craving. I love bread, macaroni. Italian food is my go-to. So what I did was I substituted. And I said before, it's not good to do. What I did was I substituted, but I tried to change the mindset of what I was having. Instead of saying I was going to make this look like macaroni or pasta, I just said I'm using spaghetti squash to mimic noodles, and that's where we're going from there. Trying there again because it can work on your brain, really can. So anyway, I hope this is going to resonate with people, and I hope I can help one person. That's all. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I really like to take this thing to another level. I'm going to start doing some live cooks on here, just easy stuff to help people get moving into it. Now you've seen that chicken. The chicken was chicken leg and the breast, roasted in the oven, and then I made the sauce with olives, onions, some garlic. That's called a puttanesca sauce. Now I use a little bit of tomato sauce, not paste. Just a little bit in there with the peppers and the pepper sauce that I had made. I'm going to start issuing out some of these recipes, the whole bit. And listen, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Last week was really great. And here's some of the people who left some nice friends, but they left some nice comments and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate everybody. All right, till next time, take care. Keep the sugar away from you. No carbs. See you again. Now, I'm going to play this video here, if you don't mind. It's only 7 minutes long, but it's at the point when I was gung-ho with this, and I really got the best results ever since I started this. So if you can, pay attention. I'll talk to you at the end. Keto cooking for diabetes. This little video here is about why I went back to the ketogenic lifestyle and mindset. If you're type 2 diabetic, this might help you. Throughout the pandemic, I started eating everything I shouldn't. Here, I'm making a stromboli, and guess what? Weighed in at 280 pounds and blood sugar levels over 250. Unsafe. It's probably not my highest or my lowest, but not good. Daily averages of blood levels were over 200. That's daily. What did he say? Literally blowing up the scale at every day. It was crazy. So, what to do? Deep down inside, I knew I had to give up the things that I was eating. I did this keto before and was pretty successful at it, but never seen the triggers coming. See, I lost 44 pounds, but I didn't lose the cravings. I was doing something wrong. Loving my bread, making sandwiches, made my own pizza dough. Now, I said being locked down in the pandemic, you're responsible for what you shove in your pie hole. The sweets, another hard thing to put away. Well, I slowly gained it all back, 44 pounds. And there again, no better. Well, by this time I had to go back to the doctor and get more medication because I couldn't control it. With COVID-19 and being a fat guy, a full-blown type 2 diabetic, I could be in trouble. So, had to change and head back to keto. That was my only shot out. Started back with a new approach. I had to give up flour, breads, pastas, sugars, potatoes, sweet potatoes, any kind of sweetener. And if the box said keto friendly, I had to stay away from it. Just eat whole foods. Well, when I started out, I was 280 pounds. The first 2 weeks, I lost 16 pounds. Let the games begin. But they say, it's water weight. Gotta be careful water weight. Hey, weight's weight to me. I wasn't too concerned about losing weight. I knew I was gonna lose it. But I was more concerned about my blood sugars. But they started dropping also. I was on a mission, so when I went to the doctor, I had to get blood work first. And I know his concern was about ketogenic diet can affect your cholesterol. My blood work came back perfect. So now I've been eating this new way, and I only eat when I'm hungry. I didn't starve myself, just like I said, when I was hungry. 3 meals a day, it's bogus. I was amazed that after I ate, how long I stayed full. Throughout the night, I could have a cutoff point at 7. Have to try new stuff. This is the moment of truth. It's Marie's guacamole, and I'm gonna give it a try. Like I said, new mindset. I'm not really a big fan of guacamole. Never was. But you know what? We'll give it a shot. Delicious. Well, at least it wasn't earwax. But the numbers kept dropping. Was it really the guacamole? No, it was a different way of eating. Completely whole foods. Nutritious stuff. But I had to give up the potatoes. And that's where I put Mr. Potato Head. Get a nice fresh start with fresh whole foods. Every once in a while you need a nice bowl of soup. A little comfort food. And this is it. I sprinkle a little bit of cheese in mine. Just to get that little extra. Being that everything else is in there, why not? Let's give it a taste. Wow. Well, that's very good. Very, very good. Clean eating. Made my numbers drop. Unbelievable. A different life, different way of eating. We're in Florida, I do believe that. And they're pretty hot. Okay, ribs are done. Trying to have a little fun, but it's basic life. Cooking old food the new way. Show me the law that says you need to have potatoes, bread. You don't. You simply don't. Well, this is where I'm at now. My blood sugar levels are pretty normal. My weight is down. I'm 35 pounds down. And I'm a happy guy. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope this helped. And if you can, please subscribe and like. Ring that bell. Leave a message. Talk to you later. Well, there it is. I mean, it was as corny as it was, but you know, my mindset at that time, as far as with explosions but the whole idea of the mindset that I had, as far as getting my health back, I was in trouble. I really was in trouble. And like I said earlier on, to have it go to a doctor and spend 10 minutes with him and think you're going to get fixed. It's not going to happen. So you got to take control of your own life, your own way of doing things, and don't be afraid to tell them, hey, I don't like the road I'm heading on with pills and that kind of stuff. Let me try to change my lifestyle. And that's exactly what I did. So anyway, till next time, thank you so much for watching. I am Tom Garber, the Keto Cook. You're watching right now Tom's Real Food Podcast. Tell your friends about it. Thank you. Till next time, thank you so much. Hit that like, subscribe, and check out Tom Garber, the Keto Cook at YouTube. I have a lot of, like I said, a lot of videos. You go back to my earlier time and you see how I transform into a couple other foods that I